What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Fan01 here, and today we are back at it again. Well, it's not exactly with another Transformer figure review, but today we are going to be doing yet again another top 10 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Transformer Studio Series 86 figures that you can acquire, or you could have, or did, or have, or still can acquire in the year of our Lord 2026. So, without further ado, we need to start off with a couple of things that I need to address. Now, the first one being, I do not have every single figure, I just have their counterparts from Studio Series. Like, for example, Prowl, I have that one on this list. I have the More Than Meets the Eye Prime and Megatron on this list, but I do not have those figures. I have their counterparts. So that's what we're going to do, basically be referring to them as. We're going to be referring to them as the official new ones, and we're going to be using these just basically as a reference for them. So without further ado, let's get into our honorable mentions. And the first honorable mention that we should really have to be bringing out is our old boy here, Studio Series 86 Soundwave. Because technically he's not brand new for this year. Technically he was more likely brand new for last year. And again, that's not a problem. But take note, GameStop is starting to now show this guy off in decent light. So that's where I just have to go, we can't really call this 2026, but we can call it 2026. So that's our first honorable mention. Our second honorable mention of the day, and this is one of our first figures that we have to really continue with on the idea of that I do not own this version, but the version of the More Than Meets the Eye Optimus Prime of the Studio Series 86 Leader Class assortment. But for those of you who actually do know and are aware, that figure is pretty much... Hey, you're gonna... There we go. Sorry. His legs did not want to move. But anyways, so pretty much it's the same exact, Optimus Prime, but with battle damage and in a little, like, piece of debris that they shoved inside his center. And I think it was one effects part, but anyways, if you did get the Studio Series 86 Commander version, this will suffice for a while, and the 86 and More Than Meets the Eye one, I only really recommend you get that if you really don't have this version, so yeah. Next, our next honorable mention that we're going to be bringing out is the Studio Series 86 Snarl. Yes, this is technically brand new for this year, but at the same time, it's also in that same category of Soundwave, where technically this isn't a new figure, they're just re-releasing it, and if you want to get your hands on it, I would highly suggest you go to Target, or basically you're going to have to do your due diligence and go out hunting for this guy. So I can't say that it's a bad figure, but I can't also say that it's, something that you want to be having float around all the time. So, yeah. But anyways, now that we have gotten the final honorable mention out of the way, now we can get into the actual list and the ranking, or at least my ranking of the Studio Series 86 figures that you can get, or you probably should get before you can't. So, anyways, number 10. Now, number 10 coming in here is quite possibly one of the more weirdest ones that I wasn't expecting to show up. Here we have the Studio Series 86 Deluxe Windcharger. Again, not quite sure why this thing exists, but also I'm not complaining that it doesn't. Or that it does, excuse me. Not complaining that it does, my bad. But I think they did a decent job with this mini bot. I just wish, I just wish there was maybe a little bit more paint on it. Just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit more paint. But I do have to say they did a good job with the engineering of this head, that this little lever at the top here can flip the head up and down if you want it to. So if you want him looking up, you can. If you want him looking down, you can have him looking down. So that is pretty much it for our very first figure. So next is number 9. And coming in at number 9, we have the Studio Series 86 Voyager Class Thundercracker. And I gotta say, this was a very nice, burst out into the new 86 Seeker mold. This was a very nice, just boom, boom, hey look, we're doing a new mold, and we're pretty sure you're gonna like it. So I can't complain about it in the slightest. And not to mention, from what I've been being told, is that if you lift up this headpiece and, like, if I'm not mistaken, you can literally remove this head from this particular Seeker, and if you have another one of the Seekers, we are going to just use Skywarp here as an example, you can pop the faces off and literally just, like, give them interchangeable faces. So if you want, you know, for example, your 86 More Than Meets the Eye Starscream, which has yet to release right now, but we will be getting to that one a little later. When that one finally releases, you'll be able to swap his face with this one as well. So I'm very excited about that. And on top of it, they gave them much more of a cartoon accurate look. So I cannot complain with how this mold looks. I can't complain with any of it in the slightest. So now we're going to move on to number 8. And coming in at number 8, we have, this is just a standee, but the More Than Meets the Eye 86 Prowl. This is not it, but that one is pretty much just a straight up 86 repaint of the Earthrise Prowl, which then again, I mean, pretty much every version of Prowl, Smokescreen, and let's see, who else do they got there? I mean, there's plenty of them that literally turn into the exact same Nissan Z. So I mean, it's not a surprise that this thing ended up making it on the list because of that. However, because it's so far down on the list is the reason why it's down on the list, is because it took them that long to re-release a figure that we've already gotten once before. So that's why it's so far on the list, but I digress. It does look good, and I'm not complaining about it in the slightest in that regard. So, now, coming in at number 7. And here we have at number 7, here we have Studio Series 86 Blaster. Now, the reason I have him on this list is because he did get a short, quick re-release on Amazon, and you technically can get this guy on Amazon right now. You can also get him probably also on Big Bad Toy Store. However, from what I understand, this guy also is on the bottom, is also towards the bottom of the list because of the fact that it is, well, it's just a repaint, and not a decent repaint at that, but it's a repaint. I don't hate this repaint. I just don't like it. I just don't like the fact that they literally, this is what they did. But at the same time, again, 86 Blaster to go with the 86 Soundwave, so can't complain. Now, coming in at number 6. And coming in at number 6 is a figure we all were excited to finally get our hands on. It is the Studio Series 86 More Than Meets the Eye Deluxe Class Hound. And the reason why he is number 6 on this list is because, firstly, how many freaking times did they really have to tease us with, oh, we're going to give you this mold, then this mold, then this mold, then this mold, then this mold, but we're not going to paint them in the colors of the actual Hound. They only did that for Siege. They didn't do it for Earthrise. They didn't even barely do it for Legacy. I mean, with Legacy, it made me laugh because they literally did, like, they put out his Junkion counterpart before him, which made a lot of us upset and a lot of us a little bit like, okay, come on, Hasbro, rip off the Band-Aid and give us Hound. Just come on. It's that simple. It's all you have to do. But because it was Hasbro, they chose not to. So they decided to make us wait and wait and wait until the 40th anniversary of the Transformers the movie in 1986, and I can't complain, but at the same time I can complain because we wanted this for so freaking long, but then they chose to just ignore it. So can't really help them with all of that. But I digress. It's nice that we have an 86 Hound, and it's nice that we didn't have to buy that stupid Legacy 5-pack for it. So, yeah, I'm upset about that 5-pack, but at the same time, can't complain that this is here. So, anyways, coming into number 5. Now, coming in at number 5, we are getting into the really good ones, as I have tried to explain. But number 5, we have yet our final standee for the More Than Meets the Eye collection. Here we have the More Than Meets the Eye Megs, which this clearly is not, but this is supposed to be the standee for it because, let's be honest here, that figure really does deserve its props in this list because the battle damaged head, the battle damaged chest, the freaking fact that they decided to finally give us the actual ray gun that killed Prime, along with the also continued to give him the actual accessories that he really did come with. So I can't complain too much about that. What I will complain about, and I always will complain about, is why did they not make him a Walther P38? You guys, we've been through this many different times, and I don't understand it, but then again, that's not my place. So, anywho's, now we are coming down to the wire here at number 4. And coming in at number 4, we have one figure that honestly, it really shouldn't be in this list, and it shouldn't be this high up on the list. But coming in at number 4, I gotta throw in 86 Shockwave because damn, like, again, all of these characters have particular toys for specific reasons. This guy didn't have one for any reason, and they just basically gave us Siege. However, I can't complain that they gave us Siege because of how well the mold is. Like, seriously, who would complain? Well, actually, I know anybody can complain about anything, but why would you complain about the cartoon accuracy on some of this? Why would you not complain about the pink hands and the pink gun? The amazing light piping on this figure, I can't complain about that. Not to mention, it combines with Bruticus, it combines with Devastator, and if I also have to throw in a little extra bonus piece to it, is it comes with a little version of himself. So I can't complain too much about this figure. My one complaint is I wish that the purple plastic was a slightly lighter shade of purple, but then again, I'm not the maker of this toy. So coming down to it, you know it, we are at number 3. And coming in at number 3, again, this guy shouldn't be really as high as he is, but he is. Here we have 86 Skywarp, and I can't complain about this at all. I mean, the purple, the black, the little blue details here, the stoic gaze that's going on in the face. Can't complain about that. Not to mention the null rays. Perfectly painted. Perfectly painted. Can't complain about that. This hand is the only one that I will say is a little bit because it's a little dark. It's a little darker than this one. But again, no complaints about this because this is what I was talking about when they needed more paint. Or better point is some parts lack thereof of paint and then adding little bits of paint to it to make it pop better. Can't complain about that in the slightest. Not to mention the jet mode looks badass as always, so you know it. And now, number 2. Coming in at number 2 is a figure we all have been excited and waiting for very patiently, and if I'm not mistaken, all of you people from the 1980s who went and saw this movie in the beginning days, I'm pretty sure y'all have been waiting for a transforming Kranix so you can add it to all of your figures. And seriously, Hasbro, why were you sitting on this whole time? My gosh, this thing it's borderline perfect. It's borderline perfect. The only thing that I have a nitpick for is the fact that when you get him into his jet mode and you flip his mouth all the way down, it is so difficult to get it back up and out that sometimes you just gotta get your spuddy tools out, and I don't like having to do that. And unfortunately, that's the issue we have with this particular figure, is that you have to then get that out. So 1 second and I'll get that out. Got it? So pretty much that's the whole deal, is you have to literally fix. I would honestly like them to fix the mouth a little bit better, but again, no complaints. The jet mode looks very accurate to his comic book accurate form, and I only would like to see if they decide to do an Arbalest, but if they don't, no complaints on me from that. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys know what's about to be this, but y'all know it, it's number 1. And taking the number 1 spot is actually something I really did not expect for them to do this year at all in the slightest. But also, it was a very, very deep cut when they did this. But here we have the Studio Series 86, more than meets the eye, Voyager class hot rod. Now, the reason why this figure is here is because this has been a long time coming, since about 2021, 2022. Now, what do I mean by that point? Well, back at that point when they were releasing the Velocitron Speedia 500 collection, and they were running out of figures to add to said collection so that they could just, say, oh, hey, by the way, this is out there. They had announced this specific hot rod. This very specific hot rod that came with the Matrix, the saw, the guns, the fishing pole, the sword, and the shield. Now, what ended up happening is I'm going to assume some chain from higher up command in Hasbro decided they were like, you know what? This would be better in the Studio Series 86 line. Let's wait until it is the right time to re-release this. And I gotta say, they waited for the proper time. They definitely waited for the proper time. Because the fact that this thing even exists is hilarious to me. Because why would you literally backtrack on something you announced ages ago and then re-release it now as something completely brand new and then act as if you never at all did release or tried to release the other one? So that's just my fault. Or not even my fault. That is my thought process on that. However, thought process like that aside, I love the new magenta look. I love the fact that they followed every little step properly. I'm kind of glad that they got rid of some of the more bold and present colors. I'm glad that they added them into a little bit more of the fade, like in the crotch plate here. I do like that. I also like the fact that they still kept all of the extra little bits for him. Minus the Matrix immersion or the Matrix light up feature and stuff like that. But I do appreciate the fact they still gave him the saw. I still appreciate the fact they gave him the fishing pole and the sword and the shield. So I cannot complain about any of that in the slightest. Now, let's get everybody in here for a family photo, excluding the honorable mentions. So, ready? And what a family photo this is. Oh, wait, hold on. Looks like we are missing one person. Yep, there he is. There's Kranix. There is Mr. Kranix. And that being said, this has been my personal ranking for the top 2026 figures or Studio Series 86 Transformers figures of 2026. Happy 40th anniversary, everybody. And that being said, this is only the halfway point for 2026, so be prepared to see another one of these videos again in December when we are completely finished with 2026, or when we will be ending 2026. So there will be more, and I guarantee there's going to be more Studio Series in these types of videos. So please, do not forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button somewhere down here. Also, don't forget to hit that comment button about what figure you'd like to see me do next. I'm working on it. I am working on acquiring the Studio Series 86 Astrotrain. He's been a bit of a pill to get. I don't know why, but he's been a pain. And I definitely know that I'm trying and going to attempt at getting the Studio Series Titan class Grimlock. So there is that. And this is Thomas Fan 01 saying, do not forget to keep playing with your toys. And do not forget to check out Jordy's Rail videos, Patrick's Voice Rail, Alexander Rothschild, Riveted Railfan, Riveted Reviews, iStar552, Bravely GG, Kitten Cat 999, Lemon Lime Studios, Zaga and Oreo, and oh, what the hey, we'll throw them out there as well, Corey Tucker from Facebook, and this is Thomas Fan 01 saying, do not forget to keep playing with your toys again.